farms. For now, however, we're not going to see any Mongols, as many of you try to predict, but rather we see Fire in blue going with the Britons, and Yo again in red going for the Celts. Interesting matchup in my opinion.
Well, it are both civs that like to go for the archers.
Yeah, indeed, and I think the Britons have a small edge here, but I'd like to continue on that topic a bit more after we've been talking about the map, so for now I'll be looking at Fire's map. As there's nice woodlines this time, Gold in the back next to the woodlines might have a really easy time protecting it if he walls a little bit to his TC with buildings or anything like it. The front once again is a little bit open, but it isn't the end of the world. Two balls very forward, with the players being so close to each other we might see some laming, so I'll keep my eyes open. For Fire, his map overall I think it's reasonable. The only awkward thing as well is, by the way, is how his gold is touching the forest, hence he could struggle mining with multiple villages later on. Yo's map.
He is using already, so.
Oh yeah, indeed. He also has this nice. I didn't even think about it because always when you're seeing civs where you see scout rush or anything, I like to pay a bit more attention to it. But obviously for Britons, it was just as nicely to get additional food in for any civ, that can be said. But now for Yo's map, we again see this huge hill in the front. Well, again, we didn't see it last game, and a huge hill on the side. And those hills, unfortunately for him, contain both of his golds. On the left side as well, there's an additional gold of him, again with the hill there. He might be able to wall this up a little bit over here, or maybe drop a TC there, so that back gold might ease his pain a little bit. But very awkward additional gold spots, and really might struggle rather, with the hills around him. He has a reasonable wood line, but versus Britons, your wood lines are always a bit risky, especially with this hill there once they are going to the castle age. Yeah, that additional range on the experts can really be a pain. Anyway, considering the civilizations, the first thing that comes to mind is Britons. We often see the rush into FC, as obviously the Briton bonus for archers only really apply in the castle age, unless you... Yeah, obviously we have the faster working archer ranges which help a little bit, but the real deal breaker is the additional range what happens in the castle age. So what we like to see often is players going for the rush, getting the fast castle from there on expose, and I think that is what we will be seeing from Fryer from here on, as he has 4 on wood. Even though he had 4 on wood last game, and yeah, well, that was Hunt, so that was a bit different. But
yeah, Britons always have a nice start with the faster gathering sheep.
yeah, indeed.
Foods for the FC.
But I believe we'll just be seeing a nice rush for both players, really. I cannot really imagine Yo going full feudal walls from here on. He knows Fire is going to drush, I believe. I mean, most of the games you play versus Britons, they will be drushing. Defensive drush on his own into fast castle seems to be his best bet, but in the castle age, I feel like the Celts might struggle a little bit versus the Britons. If both players are going for the expos, that is. However, if the game goes on for longer, I might be favoring the Celts once again, as I just feel like they might be having a stronger late game, and we actually see Yo laming a ball from Fire right here, and Fire Scout isn't in the neighborhood to do anything about it. So that's really going to help out Yo, and that might make a fast castle even more attractive for him.
But it doesn't hurt Fire too badly, because he can just take the deer. Which he is doing.
Yeah, he has the alternative of getting the deers in, and the extra gathering rate on the sheep help a little bit, but still.
Them twice already.
Going to be quite nice for Yo anyway. I mean, it is an additional source of really rapid food income, and wow, the deer running back again. Don't you hate it when the deers you're pushing just hit puberty halfway of the road? We have the barracks coming up for Fire as we kind of expected, and also for Yo, getting a nice front wall.
Yeah,
He might need to expand his wall a bit more forward if he wants to be safe against the expos, considering his wood line, and Fire's like, screw it, I'll take the deer over there.
Yeah, he ran out of sheep after failing the boost 3 times in a row, so he kinda had to.
So, Yes, that's a bit awkward for Fire, obviously losing the ball. Nice start for Yo, it seems, even though he had to get Loom a bit early. With the additional ball, I don't think it's going to be any of a disadvantage. And from here on, it's really going to be the question how the players will be using their Thrush. Because I'm not entirely sure whether Fire will be able to get a lot of damage in. As Yo's map is quite compact, everything is a bit on the left side. And I'm also wondering whether one of the players is just opting for defensive Thrush rather than trying and go offensive. But I think we're just going to see both players going forward and Yo actually losing his scout to the town center over there. So that's going to be a small edge for Fire. As obviously Yo's scout was quite damaged, but oh, this is interesting. We actually see Yo going up at 23 population, so we might be seeing men-at-arms from Yo. I didn't even consider that option.
Well, that's really tricky without the scouting.
Yeah, it's really tricky. I will just be checking how much he actually scouted. He doesn't have a lot of information. He knows an additional gold, he knows the main lumber, and where the town center is, but he doesn't have a lot of information on the main gold. So, ooh, yeah, that is going to be quite interesting how he will be doing, as he's now also sending the 4 villages forward, as we see quite common with the man-at-arms forward. The 3 militias, the 4 villages, probably going for a tower drop, now also dropping a mining camp on this stone. And does Fire even know where Yo is at this point? No, he doesn't. He's sending his Thrushes to the southern edge of the map. He did spot some additional gold here. And he knows the hills are lowering there, so he might have an idea where it might be. But his Thrush seems to be quite ineffective for now, whereas Yo is just arriving right now. I wonder if he's able to deal the damage here.
He scouted 3 gold piles already, so he thinks that Yo is somewhere in that area.
Yeah, it seems like he will be heading straight for Yo now, but obviously it's going to be very interesting what Yo is going to be doing at Fire's base right now, as he's even bringing the villages in the war. The only thing I dislike is that Yo is not really forwarding right now, he's just using his 4 villages as additional militias. And there we actually have Fire finding the main goal, might be able to do reasonable damage with the militias, needs to be careful not to lose his scout. There we actually have the tower of Yo going up at the berries. Men-at-arms coming through as well. As we kind of expected at a 23 pop-up from the Celts. And I wonder if he plans on expanding his towers to the wood line and see if he can deal the damage over there. But I wonder how this is going to work for him, as he still has an additional wood line in the back. I can see Fire just dropping 1 tower on his main gold, walling off the wood line on the right, and he'll be pretty safe over there. And he will have a lumber camp there, he will have his gold there, he will have an easy time defending. And we actually see 1 field down for Yo here. I'm not sure if there's a second field that went down. I doubt it. There we have it. Fire now also hitting the feudal age, 28 villages to 27. Tower is now up for Yo. Fire not really responding in time, not moving his fields in time. He did get a lumber at the second wood line, which I mentioned before, and I really like to see that one. But he's playing a risky game here, almost losing a villager, now also losing a second villager. And this is very important when against the Thrush and you have farms inside the tower range. Just delete those farms before villagers walk back to it, and you're going to lose even more fields to it. And interesting, we see Fire actually researching the men-at-arms as well, as all 3 of his militias are still full health, and he's dealing with some men-at-arms of Yo at his base as well. Really worthwhile to get the upgrade, as it's quite cheap, and his militias are still doing damage at this time. Fire's map has a small opening on the right side, but he has an easy time walling it.
Yeah, he has the nice additional wood line he's fully using now.
Yeah, really nice for him. Got a tower on the main gold as well. I think Fire is in quite a reasonable position to defend from here on. Obviously, his FC is going to be delayed a lot, and I don't think it's going to be anything close to an FC, as he's not high on the food count.
No, he just gave up on that, smartly.
So I guess we'll be seeing way more food aggression for both players, as neither of them is going to get close to the castle age anytime soon. It seems like Yo wants to make a turn, deny some more farms, maybe planning to go for the main gold, but he knows the tower went up over there, so he should know he's unable to push towards the main gold with towers only. And what is nice for Fire, which I did not mention in the early game, when we spoke about the maps, he has this additional stone in the back, so when Yo is going forward like this, he will still have an easy time getting the stone in, and I doubt Yo is going to deny that stone, as he didn't even scout it so far. We see a huge man-at-arm fight, something you do not see that often in Age of Empires, in my experience. Seems to be quite in favor of Fire here.
Although man-at-arms are almost dead and the wolf is still alive. Just made it.
Ransa, I believe if you upgrade a unit, like from Militia to Man-at-Arms, you will have the difference in HP will be added as a flat amount. The units will not be healed to full HP, but rather the additional health gets added and they will still have the same health pool from what they had as militias. Or is it actually as a percentage as Gokken is mentioning? Anyway, it seems like Yo is really unable to do any damage from here. He is now getting some dirs forward at Fire's base. Needs to be a bit careful as the archers might even spot him. But for now I find it really hard to say what player really did more damage, as we've been seeing Yo forcing a lot of idle time, quite a bit of deleted farm, some villagers running around.
Well,
obviously he just denied the FC, but...
Because Yo is trying to click up, while Fire went for double archery range archers.
Yeah, that is interesting. Yo is indeed rather moving towards getting the FC up a bit earlier. I mean, there isn't a lot of pressure at his base, so he has all the right to, and he has a bit of an easier. His eco maybe was a bit less disturbed. He's now also getting 2 defensive towers, so I doubt Fire will be able to do a lot of damage once he arrives with his men-at-arms and archers he has over there. Obviously he's hunting those 4 villages over here right now, which is going to be... Well, I'm not sure if he will actually get all of them. Maybe 1, maybe 2. But yeah, no ballistics available in the feudal age.
Yeah, the fletching is coming in. Well, the one villager stopped walking, so that might die.
Rest in peace, 1 villager. And now we see Fire just trying to do the counter-attack, as he's been investing a bit more in the feudal walls. But as you mentioned, it seems like Yo won't need to invest a bit more. Here's the defensive towers, he's quite close. He's now actually clicking up to Castle Age once he finishes Wheelbarrow, I believe, as he has the resources. I think he has the buildings, he has the blacksmith, he has... Does he have an archery range? He still needs to get a range up though, so I hope he isn't forgetting that one.
I think he forgot.
Because he only continued with the barracks, obviously, so... That's going to be a bit awkward. Wheelbarrow is now done. He's now indeed getting 2 fields on the stable rather than the range, so it seems like Yo will be going for knights instead of expos. And I really like how he dropped the 2nd tower next to his main gold to make sure that Fire's archers cannot just stick on under Yo's tower and just deny all the gold from there on. But yeah, there we have it, Yo indeed clicking up. We see Fire's resources not even close to clicking up and still not doing a lot of damage, as the towers are just doing a great job at defending.
Yeah, the back of Yo's base is completely open. Fire doesn't lacks the scouting.
Yeah, he doesn't know too much about the back, but it's reasonably walled towards his town center. He's now getting underneath the tower at the root line, where Yo doesn't have a 2nd tower, so he's going to force a bit of idle time on the villagers, picking off 1, I believe. But from there on, he's just going to idle 5 villages and nothing more, to be honest.
Yeah, but Fire is going forward, and I assume he will make a tower on the wood line.
Ah yeah, there we have it. Might deny the second part there, but to be honest, Yo can just swap to the second wood line in the front. I mean, if Fire isn't going to hit Castle H anytime soon, the two towers will be reasonable effective at actually covering this wood line in the front, so getting a lumber camp there might be fine, but he's rather just adding one over there right now. This Fire actually, there we have it, a tower going up, but I don't feel like that will be hitting this. We see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He might indeed actually, with fletching, be able to hit those villages at a lumber camp.
Yeah, he has 9 range, so he should make it.
But now we see Yo up, as we saw the stable. We see a second stable being added, meaning we'll be seeing knights. I didn't see the +1 coming in through, but with just Voodoo Archers, Fire is going to have a really hard time defending this. And Yo has a really good eco, by the way. He has really nice resource count. Is able to drop a second TC, is really able to produce way more knights from this position. And if we look at all the farms of Fire in the back of his base, and just the gold mine, the wood line, they are very far away from the town center. This is a really risky spot Fire's in. As soon as Yo is able to go offensive with those knights, there's really nothing that stops the raiding.
Well, he has a good amount of archers. So he might be in time with the crossbows to defend himself.
Yeah, but that's partially why I would like to see Yo moving forward right now. He knows Fire isn't Castle Age so far. We indeed see some archers in there, so they will do reasonable versus the knights. But still, to be at all the spots at once and not having too much upgrades. He has the +1 though in the defense as well. We see the knights having +1 defense, +1 offense. I wonder how much damage Yo is actually able to do over here, because that is quite a bit of archers. You can't just ignore that one. And the amount of knights for Yo isn't too high so far. But he's now also getting the +2 on the knight, considering defense.
Yeah, and he recovers his wood line, so he can gather from that side again. He will be fine.
Ooh, the knight's picking up quite a bit of archers for free there. Needs to be careful on the DTC Fire, as he doesn't have the +2 upgrade just yet. But every archer he kills right now is an expert less than the Castle Age, so that's why I like to see that fight, but obviously he still needs to be a bit careful with the knight.
Yeah, and Fire lost his 3 villages in the meanwhile on Yo's base.
Yeah, indeed, on the towers with the mangonel there. So no forward continuing from Fire from there on, but I think he has enough worries in his own base. He has Expo and Bodkin now though, so he will be fighting those knights quite effectively. The only bad thing is he's all in the open. So the knight's actually doing quite a bit of damage, now garrisoning most of the Expos. And picking off most of the knights of Yo so far. Yo dealing some damage, but not as much as I anticipated.
Yeah, Yo's going for the second town center on his wood line now. So he probably is gonna play the boom game again.
Yeah, just like we saw last game, he's a bit on the offense. He's able to deny some resources. We can see Fire being a little bit behind. 11 villages behind right now. I think they're quite equal in terms of upgrades like wheelbarrow and stuff like it. I've been watching it a little bit, but not following completely. We now see the ballistics coming through for Fire. Very important for the Expos versus the Knights. But yeah, I can see Fire playing it like last game. Just sit back a bit more, get a better boom going in the meanwhile, keep the pressure up.
You're talking about Yo again.
Damn it, I'm mixing up the names again, sorry.
Better that Yo goes for 3 town centers again. And he's quickly gaining a pill lead.
Yeah, indeed, and also still dealing quite a bit of damage. Now, Siege Worship coming off a Fire as well. He probably wants to deal with the towers being there forward, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's anticipating some mangonels from Yo going forward. He saw the mangonels being used earlier to deal with his towers, and we actually see a 4th town center going up for Yo. So Yo is really going to be playing the boom game right now, and we see the 2nd town center going up for Fire. I doubt there's another one over here. So
yeah.
Fire will be sitting on 2 town centers soon, and Yo on 4. Interesting, especially as the Celt late game is quite favored in my opinion.
Yeah, and Fire has to go fully defensive, because he has no clue whether Yo goes all in on RB or goes booming.
Yeah, he needs to be very careful because as soon as he's going to be splitting his expos, he's risking running into a group of knights. Knights and mangonels combined, really risky with the expos, especially with no information on what Yo is doing, as you mentioned. And Yo just still doing the damage, and well, he's already so ahead in production of economy, and now also forcing a lot of idle time. Even picking off some villages here and there. Doing a great job so far. Whereas Fire is just moving around with the expos, might be looking to see if he can deal some damage anywhere else, but in the meanwhile, his expos just not really doing anything, and we can see so many bodies over here. Knights slaying expos because now the expos are just walking out one by one. So Fire is basically losing them for free, and again we see Yo, by the way, getting the relics in just like last game. Really wants to make sure that even if the game goes in the long run, he still is in favor.
Yeah, he made the ult earlier to heal all his damaged knights from the earlier attack.
Fair enough, nice thing to do. And yeah, then might as well get a relics in, obviously. We just look at a village account again, 29 more villages for Yo. Fire once again has the military lead, but it being the expos.
Yeah, and
Yo
Fire
still
19 idols, so he has like efficiently like double the pills working.
Yeah, indeed, the Knights doing a great job, whereas the expos, they are picking off some fields. Well, actually, I don't even see a corpse over here. Now has to deal with the Mangonel, taking quite a bit of hits. With a lot of expos going down for Fire there, it's going to lower his potential to actually deal some damage over there, even more. Well, he's now finally dealing some damage, but he needs to deal a whole lot more to get on equal terms with Yo, especially considering the fact that Yo is on 40 Cs. He seems to be clicking up to Imp anytime soon if he's just going to idle his TCs a little bit, whereas Fire is still really struggling. And still unable to really deal significant damage with the expos. And we just see the same thing we saw last game. We see Yo just not producing some military for now. Doing that allows him to get up to Imp a bit early, and from there on he's just going to get this strong military out. And Fire is going to struggle to deal with that. And I can see Yo being on stone right now, so maybe there we have it, the first castle being dropped on the forward stone a little bit. So I think we're going to see woodies from Yo on in the Imperial Age as he's just clicking up, and I still feel like Fire is pretty far away. This game is once again really in Yo's favor, really well played. Once again, Fire picking off some villages, but 30 fields behind. Now finally Fire adding a third town center, but not sure if he will be able to catch up anytime soon. And in the meanwhile, Yo just has at least 10 more villages working, and since Feudal Age, so there's just so much more resources gathered for him.
Yeah, and the crossbows still don't really do the damage.
Yeah, just a lot of walking. Nothing else to be said about it, really. We see even more fields on stone right now. I think we see the first wood rails being queued up. There you have it. Nice choice, having good PS armor, being really fast, gives great rating, and also being reasonable versus the expos. Especially if they're not going to be upgraded to Arbalest anytime soon. And well, he's getting back on village account a little bit because he's doing some damage, and Yo just stopped producing any military at this point. But as soon as Yo has a few castles running, even though I still feel like he will need more castles to get reasonable production out, Fire is just going to struggle with the woodies.
Yeah, Fire is going for the forward stone tiles with a lot of fills to get them.
Yo is just killing his own knights with the Mangonel, but having a great shield on the expos as well. That compensates. You may live another day, Mr. Mangonel. Even though he's kind of a traitor.
Well, we have seen worse already.
Oh, yep. Anyway, Yo Never mind, I wanted to say Yo has the resource to click up once again. I thought I was at Fire's view. Fire still struggling to get a golden, as I think he was continuing X-Bow production for quite a while. Still not doing a lot of damage, just delaying his Imperial Age. Is going to struggle with the Wood Raiders and losing so many X-Bows once again.
At the castle where he
Yeah, I saw it. He got one knight how to deal with the mangonels. I really like that idea, but... Ouch, just ouch. No damage coming in.
yeah, castle going up for fire.
Yeah, at the stone, but I wonder how long it will stand, as Yo is already in the Imperial Age and is now moving forward with the Wood Raiders on the left. It's going to do quite a bit of damage, but also obviously has the option to get trebuchets out right now. We saw Fire and Yo having the same thing with the castles last game. Yo just being up to Imp earlier last game as well. Fire easily losing the castle. I can see that happen again, really.
Yeah, he is even safe behind the wood line with the straps, so...
Yeah, indeed, and there's just not a lot of military from Fire now either. Had to stop producing archers to actually be able to click up to the Imperial Age.
Yeah, Fire is muscling on the left side.
And Yona also grabbing control. Yeah, he saw the Wood Raiders on the left side with his X-Bow, so that gives him some additional time. Wall that, maybe focus on one point, make the Wood Raiders a bit less effective. But with that speed they have, he's going to struggle with deal with it. And from here on, I think if Yo is able to keep his own castles alive and keep a reasonable Wood Raider production, I think he's in a great spot, and we even see Fire overcutting a little bit on the right side, giving the Wood Raiders an even easier entrance. And yeah, he might be up to Imperial Age right now, and I think Yo is now finally going to spot the castle on the hill. I think he didn't know it was there before, so he might consider getting some traps out, taking it down. And what is Fire going to do from here on, really? Again, he has a lot of idle villagers.
Well, I think it's quite obvious what Fire will do now.
Hit the resign button?
Yes.
Yeah, just the wood swarming everywhere. But really, any military out for Fire, just behind most of the game once again. We saw this same scenario in game 1, really. Just Yo getting an advantage in Further Age a little bit, getting up to Castle Age earlier, puts a lot of pressure, then back down on the pressure, make sure he gets imp in time, and there we actually have it. Fire calling the GG, and that means Yo will be taking game 2 as well. So really nicely done by Yo, and really a resemblance towards game 1 in my opinion, where we saw Yo just putting the pressure, then getting the better eco, and just hit Imp in time. Really, I feel like it's a bit of a mind game, like confusing Fire when he needs to be investing in military and when he needs to be investing in booming. But obviously that's also a little bit because Yo was ahead from the Feudal Age on, so that gives him the space to actually use those little mind games.
Yeah, it's the problem that Fire lacks the scouting, so he doesn't know whether Yo goes for heavy aggression, so he has to make his own army. And Yo abuses that by going fully boom.
Yeah, indeed.
I have to leave you now, since I'm gonna eat soon.
Okay, have a nice meal.
Yeah, good luck casting the rest of the games.
Thanks.
User disconnected from your channel.